Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's past 11 now, so we best make a start. We've got quite a lot to go through, and maybe you'll have questions as well. So we'll start off now. My name is Nia Bowden. I'm a business support manager here in Cyngor, Gwynedd. And today we'll be looking at the new grant scheme we have that's going to be launching on the 1st of July and go through what's eligible and what's not eligible. And we'll try and answer some of your questions as we go through as well to submit an application. So what we'll be looking at in this session is we'll cover the fund itself and the details of that, who can apply, the application form, eligible and ineligible grant uses, application process, scoring process, commitments, drop-in clinics, and Q&As. What I should say, of course, that if you need translation facilities, please go to the bottom of the screen and click on the interpretation globe and select English. And then you should be hearing the information through the medium of English. We're recording this session. We'll put it on the YouTube channel afterwards for people who haven't been able to join us in person today. And if you've got any questions, again, you can go to the bottom of the screen, click on Q&A and pop them there. And what we'll do is we'll have a look at the end and try and get through as many as we can. If we can't get through all of them, we'll put together a sheet and then we'll circulate that afterwards. So on we go now. So the purpose of the fund is to help small and medium enterprises in Gwynedd to build resilience and grow. We have grants available of between 2,500 and 15,000, and there will be 2 funding rounds. And this is new to us, and it's important for you to understand. The first round will open on the 1st of July and close on the 15th of August, so you have about 6 weeks to get that application in. And we are aiming to get the results announced by the end of September. And then there's going to be a second round starting at the beginning of September, closing on the 17th of October, and the results will be announced by the end of November. We welcome applications from first-time applicants now, applicants who haven't submitted an application before, and from areas with lower take-up. That's prioritised, but that's a consideration to us. There's nothing for you to worry about. We welcome applications from everybody. This is going to be a competitive process, and the applications will be scored. What's different this time to the small grant scheme that we ran about 2 years ago is that this isn't a matter of first come, first served. Please take time to prepare a strong application within the timetable that you have. As I said, it's about 6 weeks in both rounds to submit a strong application. So you're much better off submitting a strong application than submitting, an application that you've just drafted quickly, because otherwise they won't be scored until the end of the round anyway. Something for you to consider as well, with every successful application, we'd expect you to complete your project within 3 months of receiving your offer letter. So when you submit your application, please consider that and don't submit anything that you can't complete within the 3 months. And obviously, as every other times, we anticipate a large number of applications. Unfortunately, we won't be able to support each one. And as I say, the process is a very competitive one. So, that the best of the bunch will receive the money. So if you want, I'll leave that up for you now to take a photo of that. If you want to go to the information about the grants, that's where you can find it. But we'll look in more detail at this in due course now. In terms of who can apply, we're looking to support small and medium-sized businesses in Gwynedd, and that includes sole traders, partnerships, and limited companies. Your headquarters must be located in Gwynedd, and what we mean by that is that the majority The majority of the activity of your company is undertaken from a property in Gwynedd. In terms of what we mean by small and medium-sized businesses, what that means is that you have to meet at least two of these measures, namely that you have fewer than 250 employees, that you have less than 18 million on your balance sheet, and that you have less than 36 million of annual turnover. The business must be trading for more than 30 hours a week, and the business has to be financially viable, and it has to legally comply. So in terms of the application form itself, this is the type of thing that we'll be asking for in the application form itself. So the reason for the grant, what do you need to do with it? Why do you want it? The timetable of the project, that's important to us in terms of what we mentioned before. There is quite limited timeline for you to complete and finish spending the money. So we have to be quite certain that it is achievable within that timetable. We'll need a cost analysis. We'll need you to show or explain to us what is the level of the value for money. And what we mean by that is there will be a need for you to explain to us how much money you are going to save by implementing this project, or how much more profit you are going to generate by putting this project together and implementing it. We'll be asking for details of employment and linguistic profile. That's something I don't score it on. It's something for us to gather data on regarding the type of companies that we have here in Gwynedd. We want to know what your turnover is, and you'll be expected to make language and real living wage commitments, and I'll talk more about those later on. And also we'll be asking you to assess the project risks and what you'll be doing to reduce those. So this is what you'll need to include with your application form. Every applicant will be expected to return a project plan using the template in the application pack. Please don't use another template or just, include the business plan you have already. We've drafted this project plan to ask the questions that we'll need to know the answers to in order to score your application. So in order for us to have all that information to score your application, it needs to be in that template. So there's a template in the application pack, so please use that. For new businesses or businesses that have been operating for less than 12 months, we'll be asking you to provide the financial forecast for 2 years. And then for businesses that has been operational for more than 12 months, we'll be asking to see your balance sheet and your profits and loss statements for the last 2 years. Every applicant will have to provide a current bank statement of the business, and also you'll need to provide a confirmation of any relevant consents, including statutory legal requirements. So say now that your project requires planning consent, or maybe it doesn't need planning consent. You'll have to make that clear, and it's your responsibility to ensure whether or not it requires consent and whether you have that planning application, a planning consent in place. Of course, there's also a need to provide all quotes. What we're asking with quotes is for every item that you need to purchase through the grant. If it costs less than £1,000, we need to see 1 quote on paper. If it costs more than £5,000, we need to see 3 quotes on paper. And please ensure that it is 3 prices for the same thing. We're looking for applications that do the following, and the reason why we've listed these is these are the things that businesses were telling us that they would appreciate support and to realise within their businesses as part of the business survey that we completed over Christmas. So the fields were to improve marketing and communication, to enable digital developments, to improve the business's access to business fundamentals, to increase sustainability, to enable access to new markets, to increase the use of the Welsh language, and also to improve business premises. In terms of improving business premises, this is important for you to understand. If you want to improve your premises through this fund, You will have to explain to us how that is going to improve your business resilience. It's not just a matter of improving the premises in order to improve the premises. It's, there's a need to improve the premises in order to improve the business, and there's going to be a chance for you to explain that through the application process. In terms of ineligible uses, it's the same as many other grant schemes, for those of you who are aware of those. We won't supporting you to purchase land and or domestic property or residential or domestic accommodation. We won't be supporting repairs, maintenance and or general business running costs. We won't be providing funding towards purchase of equipment or services that's required to comply with statutory regulations. We won't be supporting staffing costs. We won't be paying recoverable VAT. So if you've registered for VAT or you're thinking of doing that soon, we won't be purchasing stock for you or either purchasing assets under HP, extended credit agreements or leases. In terms of vehicles, we are happy to accept applications. This is slightly more complicated. If you submit an application for an electric or hybrid car or van, you will receive a 70% grant, and the same as anything else through this grant and through this fund. The same then if you submit a grant for a ULEV ultra low emission vehicle, van or car. Again, a 70% grant. We will accept applications for diesel vans, but they have to be registered since September 2015 and meet the Euro 6 output requirements. And in that case, only a 50% grant you will receive. And there are conditions that apply, and you'll need to explain again in the same manner as anything else in terms of how the vehicle would increase the resilience of your business. So in terms of the application process itself, this is how somebody will go about it. Go to the council website, the main website, and you'll see 4 tabs at the top. Click on the business tab. And then from there, follow on the link that will take you to the Business Resilience Grants page. And there's a further link there to gain access to the application portal online. So only online applications, that is what we will accept. The portal is inactive at present. It'll open on the 1st of July when the fund will open. So once you're in the portal, you just need to follow the prompts to start the application. Is quite clear, and it'll take you through every question. After you submit the application, you'll see a thank you page, and there'll be a reference number, and you'll then receive an email to confirm that we've received your application. So if you've received a confirmation email and you know your reference number, it's okay, we have received your application. Now, this is important. The form, unfortunately, times out after 20 minutes and it doesn't save your work. And this is part of the reason why we publish the application pack so much in advance, because what we encourage you to do as businesses is to prepare using the pack that's online, prepare your answers, that is, put them in a document in advance so that you can just open the application form and do a copy and paste into that form within that 20 minutes. I know it's not ideal, but it's not something that we can change at the minute. So that is the way, that's the easiest way of doing it, to ensure that you have the questions ready to go, or the answers ready to go before you start filling the application form. In terms of scoring then, and how applications will be selected, applications will be scored on how the grants will help the business to do specific things. So we're looking at whether or not they'll protect or create jobs, develop new or improve existing products or services, or reduce its carbon footprint, or whether they help you to grow or increase resilience or to improve your use of the Welsh language. And there is a full scoring guide available in the application pack that's already online. I was talking before that you are expected to be willing to commit to certain things if you receive the grant through the fund, and these are the commitments. The first is for people who receive grants from us, we expect them to be paying their real living wage for staff over 18 by February 2026. We also ask you to commit to improving the use of Welsh in your business. And there's different ways of doing that, and we'll be asking you to note what exactly we will do to improve your use of Welsh as part of the application process, and that will be scored. The type of thing we're talking about, unless you do it already, is that you change your signage to be bilingual, or that you offer Welsh lessons to your staff, that you a Welsh name on your product, or that we want to know exactly what is your plan to improve the use of Welsh. We'll also ask you to work with Business Wales to complete a carbon reduction plan. And obviously, we'll be asking you to acknowledge this funding as per the publicity requirements. And the publicity guidelines are also in the application pack. So here are some top tips, if you like, to help you to submit a strong application. First of all, please read all the guidance thoroughly. I know that there's a lot of them and there's a lot of information included in them, but that's the way to ensure that you submit an application that's strong and that answers everything we want you to answer in order for us to be able to process it and score it. As I said before, this is going to be a competitive process, so please take your time and prepare a strong application. You won't win anything by just submitting a quick application. It's better for you to take your time and to submit it by the deadline in the first or second round. Unless you have done it already, please sign up for the Business at Gwynedd bulletin. Any changes will be published there. We've got a strong timetable, but things do change sometimes. So if we need to change anything for whatever reason, we'll be publishing any changes in the business bulletin. In the same way, you can follow us on Facebook for updates. And also, the business support team, Business at Gwynedd team, is here to help. So you're welcome to email or call with any questions you may have, and we'll give you the contact details later on. Also, over the next few months, July and August, we'll be holding drop-in clinics across Gwynedd. There'll be a chance there for you to ask questions about your application. You can receive guidance from us as a team in terms of the application process, and also you'll be able to make one-to-one appointments with Business Wales and Menter Môn advisors, and they'll help you with the details of your application. So there's an opportunity there for you to come and see us, unless you want to call us or contact in another manner. You will be required to register to attend those, so we'll give you the details on that later on. So that's it in essence. I'm sure you'll have questions. As I say, there's an opportunity for you to put them in the Q&A box at the bottom, or you're welcome to contact us afterwards, or you're welcome to attend any of our drop-in sessions, the specific ones that are involved with making an application to the fund. So possibly it's worth looking at the next slide just before we look at the questions. Again, for you to be able to take a photo of this, the link on the left will take you to the link to sign up for the business bulletin, and the link on the right will include all of our links to wherever we are on Facebook and everywhere else. And then in a minute we'll change that, and just to go to the information, our team information, if you wish to get in touch. So that was a quick tour now, as I say, but I hope that that's given you a bit of guidance in terms of what we're looking for, and possibly I've answered some questions already that you have at the minute. So I'll look at the questions now that we've got. So we've got a bit of time, so we'll just go through them. The first one I can see. I'll start at the top.
Can we have the slides or YouTube?
Yes, can we have the slides or YouTube link?
Send that out after the webinar, no problem. What's the name of the Facebook page? We put the link up for you to link to our link tree, which has all the links in it. Sorry, I said link a lot of times there.
When are the clinics likely to be held? As I say, during July and August, there'll be quite a lot of those clinics being held. I want to say that there's 7 in total. So yes, we'll send you the link following the webinar now. Can the fund software? Yes, that can happen. The fund in its entirety is just less than 1 million. So if you work that out, very briefly, if everybody wanted 15,000, we've got money to provide about 65 grants. But everybody won't need 15,000. Not everybody needs the full amount. So just to be totally clear about it, about 75 grants, we have the capacity to put those out.
To part fund a larger project? Yes, it can. 70% is the most we can contribute towards a project, but we can certainly contribute less. So that's fine. Towards other improvements or towards an electric vehicle, we've mentioned that already. With regards to the other improvements, you'd have to give us more details about that, but you're welcome to contact us to go through that. Oh, no, this is a good question. For those who are unsuccessful in round 1, do they need to reapply for round 2? So if you've put in an application for round 1, when we announce the results of round 1, people will get one of 3 emails. They'll either get an email saying you were successful, or you'll get one saying you were unsuccessful, but please resubmit an application for round 2. And you're right, you would have to reapply for round 2. We wouldn't just hang on to it. Or you would have an email that says you were unsuccessful and please do not reapply for round 2. So you'll know very clearly what to do, whether to reapply or not for the second round. But you would, if you're invited to do so, you would have to reapply. It's not that we would keep those to one side. I
can see that staffing isn't eligible, but if I wanted to create a project or post by having a social media person to come and do social media for the business for 3 months, is that eligible? We'd have to discuss that, I think. If they come in as an advisor, possibly, and that they invoice you at the end of it, possibly that's okay. I think it'd be difficult to add somebody to your payroll for 3 months and that we pay for that. But that's something really that I'd recommend you to get in touch with us and we can discuss that with you. Is there a risk that the fund will be used in the first round? Yes, possibly. It's one of those things where we'll just have to see, and we'll have to see what goes on and what is the quality of the applications that will come in. So we haven't, for example, cut it in half and said that that's for first round and that's for the second round. It's something that we'll assess as we go on.
If software is purchased, would it only be software covered, or could year 1 subscription costs also be covered? Yeah. I would contact us about that. Anything sort of beyond the end of the project date, we would have to think about. The end of the project date in our world is the end of next February. So yeah, contact us about that and we'll have a think. When
did round 1 close? I want to say the 15th of August. Yes, the 15th of August. The end of round 1. Is it possible to pay rent in order to establish a business or purchase garden office? No, garden office. We have received examples of that in the past, and we said no to that on the basis that it improves or increases the value of personal property. So no to that. Possible to pay rent? Possibly. You will need to show us that, 3 months rent would make a real difference to you in a way. So yes, again, something for us to discuss there.
if you're unsuccessful for this year's funding, would that stop you applying to next year's funding? We don't know if there's going to be any funding next year. This is something that's come from UK government. We hope there will be, but we never know. But in short, if there were another fund in the future, you're very welcome to put another application in if you're not successful this time. Possible copy of slides or webinar.
Possible to receive a copy of the slides on the webinar. Yes, of course, we'll send that out after today.
If, for example, we received a quote that included a building work, would the overall quote be acceptable, or would you need a more detailed breakdown of all the building materials required? No, and it depends what you're asking for. What can I say now? If you're putting in an application for building an extension, which might be a bit ambitious with 15,000, we would accept a quote for building the extension and everything included in that. The only thing is it would have to be detailed enough that when you submit 3 quotes, if it's over £5,000, that we can compare the 3 with each other. So yeah, that's really how we tend to work that kind of thing. Could we make multiple applications, i.e. one for software, one for vehicle? I wouldn't suggest that you do, to be honest. I think that we'd be looking to accept one application from each business.
What would happen to the electric or hybrid car after the 3 months? Well, you'll own the electric or hybrid car after that, so you'll be the owner of the car.
Work would be on a rented unit. That's okay. If you read the guidance, couldn't think of another word. If you read the guidance, then it explains that if anything's going to be done to a rented property, we would need the landlord's written consent for anything to be done to it, and we would need for you to have a lease in place for at least 7 years. Do sole traders gallu apply am grant and intad?
Can sole traders apply for the grant? Yes, they can.
Yes, if you can explain to us how that increases your business resilience, and obviously it's if you can put a case over that's strong compared to other applications, then that's okay. For this fund, do you already have to be trading, or is it not applicable for startups? No, startups can apply as well. That's okay. And repairs to wooden sash windows in a listed building, as long as you've got all your permissions from whichever relative agencies need to give permission to do that, and you can put a strong case across that replacing the wooden sash windows will increase your business resilience, and it's not just an upgrade to your building, then yeah, that's all right. And I think I've got to the end of the Q&As. If anyone wants to put one in the last minute, now's your chance. Os ddim,
if not, as I said, we will circulate the slides, we'll send the links to the drop-in sessions, but you're very welcome to get in touch with us as well. But the simple answer is, most of the time, the answers to any questions are in the guidelines, so I'd encourage you to read all of the guidance. I know it's quite a package, and yes, sorry, more's coming in. Please go to the guidance. Why 3 months to spend, and why not the end of the financial year? Because the project closest to us, it's before the end of the financial year, so we have to have everything in and claimed by you to give us a chance to claim the money back from the government, of the UK government, that is, and all that's before the end of the project, and that in itself is before the end of the financial year. Can charities apply, although they are not viable financially or commercially? Unfortunately, no, we don't accept applications from charities. Businesses, not-for-profit businesses, that is, for example, social enterprises and so on, it's okay to submit applications, but not registered charities, no.
Right.
So that's it. I hope that was helpful to you this morning. Good luck to you submitting the applications. And as I said, please take your time, submit a strong application, and we look forward to accept them. So thank you very much to you all for attending this morning, and please get in touch if we can help you further. Thank you.